Hello and welcome to the Aspire Sports Show. I'm your host, Giggs. We're breaking down Saturday's NBA slate. It's January 2nd. We got a couple games here we're going to get into. I'm joined with my buddy, Gordon. Gordon, how you doing? Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year. How you doing, Tyler?
Oh, pretty good. Pretty good. I've finally recovered from Thursday night, and I'm ready to make some lineups. Watching some college football as well. I'm watching Iowa State, Oregon. I got Iowa State.
I'm watching Houston in Sacramento.
I got that on the other TV. I gotta say I'm spoiled. I'm able to have it all. But yeah, today should be a fun day for NBA. Not too many games on this slate. We'll go ahead and start with the first game on the slate. We have Philadelphia taking on OKC. Oh, not OKC. Charlotte, and they're -10. The over/under on this is 215. Gordon, are you looking for Joel Embiid in this game? Are you looking to the Sixers? I know Charlotte. I mean, Sixers are a good defensive team, and this isn't the highest over/under on the slate. But are you looking to any stars in this game, like Ben Simmons or Embiid?
I'd like Embiid. I'd like Harris and maybe Seth Curry from Philly. I like other point guards more that are cheaper than Ben Simmons, so I'll probably stay away from him. What are you thinking about Philly?
I'm seeing a lot of people taking Ben Simmons for their lineups. I don't know if that's for cash or GPP. Ben Simmons hasn't really done it for me so far this year, so I'm probably not going Ben Simmons. I was thinking Joel Embiid, but I think there might be a lot of value at center. I got burnt by Mitch Robinson, but I might have to go back to him again. And this is interesting. Indiana has already played the Knicks. That was their first game of the season, and Indiana absolutely destroyed them inside. So I'm wondering if they have to lean on Mitch Robinson a little bit more in that game. So I kind of like the pay down options here, but I definitely can understand why if you want to pay up for Embiid, it's such a good matchup for him. They're already shorthanded for Charlotte with big men. Bismarck Biyombo, he's going to be starting. He's looked good. I'm going to have exposure to him.
Yeah,
just because of his price.
I think I caught him the other day. I think maybe yesterday he was at 5,000 wherever they played last. What's he priced at tonight? You have it?
Yeah, he's at 5,200
Same
tonight.
Price. So that might be a nice pivot off of, like you said. I'm going to have some Mitch Robinson tonight because of the price, but Biyombo might be a nice pivot off of there.
Well, I'm sorry, he's 5,000 tonight.
Yeah, so Robinson's 5,200. I'm going to have a lot of exposure to him, but Biyombo will be a nice switch off. He'll probably go low owned. Again, I would think.
Yeah, I definitely think if you want to fire up Embiid, that's definitely safe for cash. If you're looking at GPP, I think you want to go Bismarck Biyombo in this one, just because we know that at 5,000 he can get 6-7x value. That's not unachievable for him. What I think is interesting is Charlotte. You know, they got LaMelo Ball, who is sitting at 5,300, who's going against one of the best defenses against the point guard. You got Ben Simmons, who's just been lights out on defense. He's 5,300. He's had 2 games now where he's crushed value. Do you think that you can go to Ball comfortably here? Do you like Ball at 5,300?
I don't see how he wouldn't keep getting the same amount of minutes. Even he's a safe play even in a blowout, because if there's a blowout, they'll give him more of a run. So I think either way he's a safe play, like his price, can do everything, all the peripherals. So I'll definitely have some of him in my lineup. I was going to PJ Washington, but I don't like his price with he's been in a lot of foul trouble. So I'm going to stay away from him. And then Bridges is always hit or miss. You could take a flyer on him. But other than that, just Ball, Biyombo, maybe Bridges in one lineup tonight for me.
Yeah, I'm going to say this. For anyone who's listening who's thinking about playing Ball, don't put Graham in that same lineup. It's very telling now that when Ball is on the court, they don't use Graham as much. So the more they use Ball, Graham's value is going to go down. I would not stack them in the same lineup, even if you're trying to be contrarian. Like, I don't think people are looking that deep into it yet. So for me, it's Ball over Graham. And if you own Graham in season long, maybe try to trade him now. He's never been a super efficient scorer. So yes, he gets points, he gets counting stats, but last year he didn't finish as a top 100 player, even though he had his breakout year. So with Ball now in this rotation, I think it's safe to trade Graham, maybe a hold in like 14, 16 man leagues, but really I think you should try to trade him and sell his stock while he's high. Because after this, I don't think people are going to want him once he starts losing more and more minutes to Ball. One guy that you mentioned I think is an interesting pick would be Bridges. So I was looking at the small forward position. I really like Hunter in that Atlanta game as a cheap small forward option, but Bridges looks good. Bridges has been, like 25 or better fantasy points for a few games now, ever since Zeller went down. I feel like he's getting a little bit more burned. So it's a tough matchup, but I do like Bridges here as a cheap option. Definitely good for GPP. Tobias Harris, like you mentioned, that's probably one of my favorite small forward plays. The only concern is there's a couple of guys that are just a little bit cheaper than him that have just about the same ceiling. So if Tobias misses and those two guys underneath him hit, you're kind of screwed. But it's someone you're going to have to mix into your player pool today just in case. But the matchup's good. Tobias, he should be good for 35, 40. So he looks like he'll hit value there at 7,000. Is it 200 or 400? 7,000.
7,200 for Tobias.
Yeah, that's not bad. So that very strong cash game option right there. Anyone else that you're looking at this Charlotte-Philadelphia game?
No. Other than those guys, maybe like I said, maybe Seth Curry. He starts. He's been getting the minutes, so I like him. And he's at 4,900, I think, at shooting guard. I don't think he'll be high owned. I'm trying to see. Tobias Harris is coming in the top 10 for going to be highest on projection for FanDuel tonight. I think that might be it from this game. Yeah, the top 10 from what I'm seeing.
So one guy I'll throw in here as a player who could possibly ruin our lineups, I'm sure neither of us have much exposure to, is Shake Milton. He's sitting at 4,400. It's not the strongest point guard. You don't have the best options at point guard on this slate, in my opinion. And Shake Milton has proven twice this year to go over 30 points. So at 4,400 GPP, if you're trying to get someone that's like 2% or lower owned, Shake Milton might be the play, especially if Ball, Peyton, and other guys around that price point flop. But I agree that Curry and then possibly Milton, those are like two guys in this game that could be really strong GPP plays that will definitely have low ownership. So let's go ahead and look at the next game. We got Knicks at Indiana. Indiana's -9. Over-under on this game is 216. The big news that's coming out of this game would be that you still don't have Alec Burks, or at least I'm assuming so. And for sure, we know we don't have TJ Warren for Indiana, which means both Holiday brothers, they both get an uptick. And you also have to look at Doug McDermott. He's sitting at power forward at 4,200. Maybe someone you have to look at because he scored 24 points last game with no TJ Warren. So what do you think, Gordon? Is this a game you're going to have much exposure to? Is this a game that you're looking at for maybe RJ Barrett, maybe Julius Randle?
I kind of like this game, I'm not going to lie. I know it's at -9. No TJ Warren. So that gives you some – I know that the guards for Indiana are both in the 7,000 range, but they've been consistent the whole year. So they have safe floors. I feel like those guys. Sabonis is 9,400. I feel like he's a safe floor too. With no Warren, I like Justin Holiday and I like McDermott. Like you said, McDermott's going to get the minutes and he's going to shoot it. So from those guys, from Indiana, that's who I like. New York, I like Peyton. I would assume no Burke, so I'm going back to Kevin Knox. I know we had talked about him New Year's Eve. I still like Julius Randle, Mitch Robinson, RJ Barrett. Tibbs is going to play his guys. I don't see that changing. So I kind of do like this game a lot. I'm gonna have some plays from both teams in this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with everybody. I have a game stack for this one, even though it is tied for lowest over under on the slate. I think RJ Barrett is definitely in play. I think Justin Holiday is definitely in play. I think Julius Randle is in play. I think Domantas Sabonis is in play. I like Miles Turner. I mean, he's getting up there in price, but I even like Miles Turner and I like Mitch Robinson. It's crazy. Like Reggie Bullock, good value. Victor Oladipo, I don't mind. If you want to play Elfrid Payton, not a bad play. If you want to play Malcolm Brogdon. I also think that's a fine play. Like I really like a lot of players in this game. If you were to stack this game and it go to overtime, like you are set, because I really do think that what is available looks really good. Even, both Holiday brothers look solid on as a, GPP play, someone to go low salary so you can pay up. And there's not a bunch of pay up options. There's no, other than center, there's not guys breaking 10,000. So I'm with you, even though it's probably not the most attractive fantasy game. For some reason, this one looks good to stack it. It looks like a good one to have a lot of exposure to. So
Yeah, I'm thinking with New York, Nilly Keene is still out. No Burke, so Peyton's going to get the minutes. Knox is going to get the minutes. Like I said, I feel like a lot of those guys have safe floors. I'm going to go Robinson. Miles Turner's price scares me. He is getting the blocks and the steals per game. Like you said, I already have a game stack of this game as well. I feel like I said, I always say the contrarian play. But with the floors, even if you stack this game with the players, I feel like you can still get into money.
I agree. If it were to be higher scoring that they're saying it is, it's a great play. I love a lot of players in this game. When you look at the value report, there's a lot of players that pop up that would be in this game. So I'm all about riding the hot hand with Julius Randle. Cash game, Sabonis, I think, is the safest play. Center, I think we can go a little bit cheaper, but I still think Miles Turner is a fine play in this game. Mitch Robinson, definitely GPP. Just across the board, real good. I'll say this, Elfrid Payton, if he earns the trust of Tibbs, if he becomes like their go-to guy at point guard, you're looking at 27, 30 minutes a night, that price is a steal. So we're still trying to figure out if that's the case, but if Tibbs starts going with Elfrid Payton and he's sitting around 5,000, we're going to be playing him a lot, because the night he does hit for a 40 or 50 burger, we're going to own him and we're going to cash in on that.
He has triple-double potential. I keep putting a little money on him on a triple-double just because the odds are good. I'm not hitting yet, but when it does, like you said, I'll have him in my lineup. I'll have that. So it might be the night if it's a close game. Like you said, I got a game stack of that. But I know you and I both are going to be heavy on this next game.
Oh, yeah. So let's just go ahead and get into it. Cleveland at Atlanta. Atlanta is -5.5. The over-under on this game is 216. Now, Atlanta is coming off the second half of a back-to-back. They just played the Nets, and they won yesterday. And this is the highest over-under on the slate. So, Gordon, I'm going to go ahead and let you take it. I know you love a lot of guys from this game. Who are we looking at? Are we stacking this entire game?
Yeah, I'm gonna probably stack this game with different variations, but my favorite from Cleveland, I love Sexton. He's my favorite player from there. I like Nance. I like Drummond. I feel like he's gonna have a lot of rebounds. The game's gonna be moving. For value from Cleveland, I like Cedi Osman and Dante Exum. Exum's real cheap. I think he's sitting at 3,600 at point guard. He's gonna get the minutes as Kevin Porter continues to get out. Did you hear what they said about him?
Porter.
They said that Porter's too immature and they don't want him back till he gets his head right.
Well, there you have it, folks. Isaac Okoro value just skyrockets, and Cedi Osman. So,
is Okoro back tonight?
Not yet.
So I'm
Cedi Osman. That looks good.
I'm riding with Exum and Cedi today. Who you like from Atlanta side?
Atlanta, I really like Hunter. So we know that Gallinari's out. So that small forward position, there's a lot of minutes that open up there. I'm going to go to Hunter. I know he probably won't shoot as efficient as he did last game. I think he went like 9 for 10 from the field or something like that. Probably not going to do that again, but as long as he's getting heavy minutes at the 3, I've always been a very big fan of his. I think he's a very good player. I actually think he's better than Cam Reddish. I think it's safe to go to him at 4,700 because he looks like – I'm going to make sure he's 4,700. He might even be cheaper. I think he's got 25, 30 points written all over him in this matchup. It's going to be a fast-paced game. They're going to need him with the injuries. We got him at – he's 4,600. So at 25 points, he hits value. I think that's a safe play at small forward. Maybe go Cam Reddish if you want. I would pick Hunter between the two. Trae Young is a little bit too pricey for my taste, but I can understand why you would want to go to him. Like if you were choosing between him and Ben Simmons, if you really wanted to just pay up, I would go Trae Young all day. I know this is coming off a back-to-back, but you would play Trae Young over him, I feel. And John Collins at 7,000 just looks like a really strong cash and GPP option there. Clint Capella, I'm a little nervous about because it's a back-to-back. We know he's nursing that Achilles injury. I actually have been leaving him out of lineups. I have absolutely no exposure to him tonight because I'm scared that they'll call him out last minute, which is another reason why I like Hunter so much, is because if John Collins were to slide into the center position, I expect him to play more minutes at the 3, maybe even the 4. So on the Cleveland side, I feel like you got to just play. You got to play Nance. Drummond's a little expensive. Are you going to play Drummond tonight? I don't think I have him.
I think I might have 1 or 2 with Drummond, just like I might have with Embiid. What do you think about Garland at 7,500? Are you going to play him?
I will, because I believe there's going to be a lot of exposure to Brogdon, and there's going to be a lot of exposure to Lowry. And if Garland were to outscore both of them, and he could definitely do it. I mean, Garland's shown that he's legit. He's taken a huge step forward this year, and this is the fast-paced game you want. Highest over under. So I'm not scared to fire up Garland in this one. I definitely like Sexton more, but I'm not scared to have both of them in my lineup. Love Larry Nance at 6,800. He's getting up there in price, but I think he's good for 30, 35. Really strong cash game option there. Him and OG are priced very close, but if I had to pick one, I'm going Nance.
For Atlanta, I like I know you said Hunter. I like Cam Reddish. I'm a big Duke fan, as you know, so I like Cam Reddish. I always like the Duke guys, which we'll get into Zion later. But another person I like in Atlanta who's been getting the shots off the bench is Bogdanovich. As long as Gallinari is not out, Bogdanovich's usage is going to be up, especially if he's playing in the second unit. He's sitting at a good price. I think he's mid 5,000s. But I like him as a play always. Like I said, he's 5,400. He's a playmaker. I know he laid a dud last game against Brooklyn, but other games he's been 30s. So I would definitely have him. I'll be playing him as long as Gallinari is not in the game.
So guys, this just came in on my FanDuel ticker. It says Raptors Pascal Siakam back in starting lineup Saturday. Norman Powell back to bench. So I want to say 2 things about this. A, that was bullshit that Siakam shows up in street clothes and they don't announce that till 10 minutes before tip-off. That is no way to treat anyone on New Year's Eve. So Nick Nurse, come on, man. That's not cool. And, they always have the injury next to someone if they're missing time. It was disciplinary. So Siakam must have done something that made Nick Nurse pissed off enough where he was like, you know what? I'm moving you to the bench. You know what? You're not even playing. You can be in street clothes. So something to watch here.
From what I saw, that it was he had fouled out the game before and had left the court before the end of the fourth quarter. I think that's what it was. I'm not 100%, but I think that's what I saw.
We got the sources right here. Well, good shit, Gordon. Well, there you have it. Siakam is back in your starting lineup. If he burnt you on New Year's Eve, I don't blame you for not wanting to play him. I don't think it's a bad matchup here, though, because it's an up-tempo game for Toronto. But we'll get to that game in a second. Is there anyone else, Cleveland, Atlanta? Is there some dart throw that we're not naming? We said Chetty. Oh, I got one. JaVale McGee. JaVale McGee, if Drummond gets in trouble, if Capella plays, if Drummond has to handle John Collins and Capella all game, JaVale McGee is going to come in. So he's hit value quite a few times already this year. Do you like JaVale McGee tonight? Do you think he got a little too expensive for tonight? I think he's 4,200.
There's actually times when Cleveland plays him and Drummond at the same time.
Yep.
So I might take him. What's he priced at right now?
I believe he's 4,300.
So if I'm going real cheap for center and I'm kind of strapped for cash and I like other players more, and I can't get Biyombo in my lineup, I wouldn't mind having him in my lineup. Like you said, if he gets the minutes, he's always been very efficient in the very few minutes he's been in. And if Drummond does get into foul trouble, then he's gonna see a lot of rebounds, especially in a fast-paced game. Maybe catch a lot of oops, dunks. So I wouldn't mind having him in a lineup or 2.
It's definitely a game where they might need him. You know, I hate to phrase it that way. Might need him, but if Drummond's dominating and he's on the court the whole time, that's one thing. But you have a team that has two guys who can easily play center, Capella and Collins. Those are two 7-footers essentially. Collins is so athletic. You're going to need big guys out there tonight, and because they're down Kevin Love, I could see JaVale McGee logging 20 minutes. I think we pretty much smothered that game. Let's move to the next one. We got Oklahoma City at Orlando. Orlando's -5, and the over-under on this game is 217. The big news from this game would be they're starting to play Allegas. I can't say his name. Puskovici. Guys, this guy's going to be a stud, and I'm calling it right now because I really like his game. Power forward, they drafted him this year. Oklahoma City did. He's sitting at 3,500. I'm calling it right now that this guy's going to wreck lineups. He's going to be a sleeper tonight that's good for 15, 20, maybe 25 if they decide to go heavy with him, because Baisley has not hit his shots. I like Baisley. He can stuff the stat sheet, but he has not looked good so far, and you got this rookie for a reason. I know Al Horford's going to be playing tonight. I don't think he looks too bad here tonight at 5,400, but if you're looking for a cheap power forward option, Doug McDermott and I'm just going to call him AP, the AP of basketball, because I don't know how to say his name, but I'll watch a YouTube video where the announcer says his name a million times and then I'll know. But how about you, Gordon? Is there someone in this game that you're looking at? Who do you like in this game that's possibly a sleeper or pay up stud that you want?
I'll keep going to SGA because the usage is going to be there. And if his shot gets going and he takes the whole range of the offense, he could take off. He's still sitting at like 8,400, so I don't mind having him. I like Puchkovitsky. I think that's how you say his name.
Nice, I nailed it.
So he's getting 18 points the last couple games, hovering around right around 20 minutes. But the thing is, his shot's not falling. So if his shot falls and you have him at minimum price, it seems like he could get you 20, 25, maybe even 30 points. And that is a takedown on a 5-game slate. I know we're always trying to find those sleepers and different guys to try to play. At the same time, if he does get 0 or not 0, if he gets 10 to 15 at 3,500, you can still cash with that lineup, I feel like, as long as you have the other pieces right in there. So I'm with you on that. Maybe Al Horford. Again, I like other centers tonight. I feel like that Isaiah Roby off the bench is slowly going to get more burn just because he's young. And then who are you thinking from Orlando side with no Fournier?
I got to admit, I have a couple with Cole Anthony, and I have a lot with Markelle Fultz. I think Markelle Fultz at 5,800 is like the safest cash or GPP play. I think he's good for 35-40 in this game, to be honest with you. He's making a lot of my lineups. So Cole Anthony, he's averaged just under like 24 FanDuel points a game, sitting at 4,000. I like him. Terrence Ross, I was looking at. I don't know how much faith I have in that. Dwayne Bacon, I don't know how much faith I have in that. I kind of like the point guards more. I don't know why. I know Terrence Ross can slide into the 3 very easily, so I could see like Fultz, Bacon, Ross, and then if you wanted to, you could pretty much have Cole Anthony and Fultz on the court at the same time, because Cole Anthony's he's a strong scorer, and then Fultz, he could probably guard the 2 while Anthony's on the 1 on defense. So I need to look more into how they're going to use this rotation. No Fournier definitely opens up value. Maybe Vucevic as like the primary scoring option is someone you want to go to at center. Maybe, pay down from Drummond or Embiid to go Vooch. I see that he's considered someone who's got good value on this slate, even though he's sitting at 8,400. He already played OKC. They didn't have Horford when he played him, but he ate him up. I think he almost hit 50 FanDuel points. So that's someone I'm going to look at. And again, this is early in the season, guys, so you have to be paying attention to what happens when certain people sit, when certain people are hurt. How does the coach, change the rotation? Who's getting more usage? This is a game that keep an eye on. Try to figure out what they're going to do with this guard situation going forward, because Cole Anthony, I think, has looked pretty solid so far. Markelle Fultz with no DJ Augustine anymore. I think he's in line. If you drafted him late in drafts, you should be very happy because in category leagues, he's going to be a top 90, top 80 player. I guarantee you. But yeah, with the Fournier injury, I'm not too concerned with Fultz, Vooch, their production. I'm not looking at Aaron Gordon in this game. I don't know if you are, but Aaron Gordon to me is just such a hit or miss player. I'd like to see his price go down a little bit after the 2 duds he's put up. How about you? Are you looking at Gordon in this one?
Yeah, I will have some. That was who I was gonna say. I feel like he's gonna be very low owned. I might pair him with Collins in a couple lineups. He could definitely sink your lineup if he sticks around 20 minutes. But he could come out. He could be that player that starts off this late to 7 p.m. game with a huge first quarter. He gets like 8 and 5 rebounds or something like that. I could see that happening. So I will have Aaron Gordon at 6,400. If he does get hot, even if he hits, I know the first game he had 38. He gets some defensive things going on. I could see him being a good takedown person too. So I will have Aaron Gordon in my lineup tonight. That's for sure. But other than that, I like Vucevic with the usage. Cheap guys, Michael Carter-Williams. He's very cheap. I know you like Cole Anthony, but 3,800 for Michael Carter-Williams. I definitely will have him. And then definitely Markelle Fultz. I feel like he's got that starting job locked down. So I'll have some of him at point guard tonight for sure.
Markelle Fultz is not – let's see. They have him projected for 28.8 FanDuel points. They say that his ceiling tonight on RotoWire is 34. I think that is bullshit. If you want to talk about ceiling for a point guard, if Fultz gets you 2 steals, 2 blocks, the rest of his stat line is going to be like at least 9 points, 5 ribbies, 5 assists. Like the guy can fill it up so easily. And if, God forbid, he has a 20-point game, I'm just waiting for it. I'm going to be firing him up all the time under 6K. Maybe he's not the backbone of my lineups, but definitely have some exposure to Fultz, especially on a slate with not a lot of options around that price point. But Fultz ball looking really good there. Gordon likes Gordon. I'll tell you what, if Gordon starts doing really good, Aaron Gordon, you'll be blowing me up. Very happy where I'll be closing my laptop. I'll be closing my phone. I'll be like, good night, everybody. Because I'm gonna go ahead. I'm not gonna have exposure to him tonight, but this is just how me and him do it sometimes. If there's a guy I like that he doesn't, I'll make sure I have exposure to him, and then he'll pick someone that I don't like, and then one of your buddies will hit, because this is what's happened. We've done this show a couple of times. If you've been following us, thank you so much. If you're liking it, please hit that like button and subscribe. We're going to keep doing this. We're going to keep talking FanDuel. We're going to try to get DraftKings into it too. But we've mentioned the guys who've taken down a big GPP tournament. You know, like if you're listening and you hear the guys that we like and don't like, we're mentioning the guy that wins it for you, whether they were in our lineup or not. So if you think we suck, go ahead and make a lineup with the guys who are like, yeah, here's a guy who could win it for you, but I'm not going to play him. Go ahead, go make that lineup. You can fucking bring it back, shove it in our face, and be like, look, you didn't play this guy. That's fine with me. Like, I just wanted to let you know he was out there so you can play him. So I'm going to go ahead and look at this value real quick on this game, because over-under on it's 217. It's the second. It's tied for third lowest. So Charlotte, Philadelphia is up to 217. Knicks, Indiana, 216. Cleveland, Atlanta, 229. Yeah, I mean, this isn't a bad game to look at, in all honesty. You still have Jonathan Isaac out. You have some injury, Evan Fournier. You can look to Orlando. This should be – I also think -5. I think Orlando's going to kill Oklahoma City in this game.
Yeah, I like Michael Carter-Williams again. He's starting for Fournier. 3,800. He's going to get the minutes.
He's starting.
Rebounds, yeah, he's starting. So they got him in the starting lineup. 3,800. That's going to have him. That's just too much value. Starters minutes. If he plays 25 minutes, he can crush it tonight. I know he'll be high owned. So we'll just have to bite the bullet on that one.
And now that I'm opening up RotoWire to look at this, see, former Rookie of the Year Michael Carter-Williams, you know, he could be the one tonight. Let's see. Starting lineup confirmed. Okay, so you got Fultz, Carter-Williams, Bacon, Gordon, Vooch. So I don't like Cole Anthony as much now. I can see Terrence Ross will probably come in and play the 3 and the 2. Fultz
Ross is someone who can get hot, as you know. There's been games hit 6, 7 threes, and if he gets hot, he's gonna shoot it, and they're gonna play him.
And OKC, I mean, Lou Dort plays. He plays the 3. You have Diallo who comes in, plays 1 or 2. Like this is like a guard heavy versus guard heavy team right now. So you're definitely going to see a lot of usage from the guards here. Orlando's going to be going small most of this game. I like Al Horford in this game, though. He didn't get to play him last time. I think at 5,400, he's a very strong cash game option. I think he's good for 25 tonight. That's his floor. Maybe not so much GPP, but if all the centers are duds tonight, if you don't really like any center and you're looking for the safe option, I think Al Horford's solid. I think Vooch will have his way with him, but we're not worried about Al Horford's defense. We're just worried about him getting those assists, points, and rebounds, which he is good at. So we're still waiting for Indiana's starting lineup. We do have New York. The Knicks starting lineup is confirmed. It's going to be Elfrid Payton, Reggie Bullock, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, Mitch Robinson. We know Obi Toppin, he's inactive. Alec Burks out. Frank the Tank out. Dennis Smith Jr. out. Spellman out. So Austin Rivers, that's someone I forgot to mention. 3,700, put up 17 fantasy points last game. If he hits 20 at minimum salary, that pretty much minimum salary, that is a decent value look since they're so hurt at point guard. But this all comes back to how much do they trust Elfrid Payton? If they do trust Elfrid Payton, then you wouldn't see Austin Rivers bite into his minutes. But if they don't trust Elfrid Payton, Austin Rivers, he's going to keep getting an uptick in minutes, and one of these days he's going to have a 25, 30-point game. You're going to want exposure to that. We know for a fact OKC starting lineup, SGA, George Hill, Dort, Baisley, Horford. Looking at Charlotte, we got Devontae Graham, Rozier, Gordon Hayward, Washington, Biyombo. Philadelphia is running Ben Simmons, Curry, Danny Green. Just fucking bench him, right? Danny Green sucks. Tobias Harris, Joel Embiid. And then Cleveland, we know for a fact. Garland, Exum. I hate that. I don't know why they're doing that. Garland, Exum, Sexton, Nance, Drummond. Atlanta starting lineup, Trae Young, Reddish, Hunter, Collins, Capella. We're still waiting for that Toronto and New Orleans lineup. We know that Siakam's going to be back in it. I would imagine with a big man like Steven Adams, Aaron Baines is going to be there. So let's just go ahead and just jump into this game. We got Toronto. They're -1 at New Orleans. The over-under on this game is 215. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say it. Fuck you, Nick Nurse. I can't believe you did that to me on New Year's Eve.
You still saved some lineups, though. At least we didn't come in dead last.
Yeah, at least I saved my goose egg into a Baisley 13.7 points. That was amazing. But, yes, kudos to Gordon for saving all my lineups that night. And I apologize to all our viewers and listeners. I did say Siakam was in play that night as someone you might want exposure to. He did not play. He was in street clothes, so I apologize for that. But back to this game. We know Siakam's going to be back in the starting lineup. So Norman Powell, he's back to the bench. Norman Powell was coming up on RotoWire as one of the best value plays tonight. I am going to go ahead and say that at 3,800, he's still in play, but he's not starting. So it's not the same. It's not. But 20 points, 25 points for Norman Powell, I think he can do that at 3,800. I'd probably go elsewhere, but he's definitely someone who would be in play. I like Kyle Lowry. I think he's a very strong cash option at point guard. If you are looking at the New Orleans side, Gordon, I'll let you tell me anyone from New Orleans. Do you have anyone in this game from New Orleans?
Yeah, I'm going to go Zion. He's sticking right at around 800 or 8,000. He's going to get the usage, and Van Gundy is another coach that likes to play his players. I like playing players from teams that their coaches like to win. Thibodeau, Van Gundy, those type of coaches, they're going to let their players play because they want to win. So I will be going back to Zion. I still will keep going to Zion until that price scares me way too much. But right now, I don't see that changing. Do you think you'll have any Zion tonight?
I will. If I make a lineup, so I'm going to prefer Randall over Zion. But if I make a lineup that has $100 left over and I'll just copy paste same lineup and I'll make Randall into Zion. He's just a guy that could be 20 points all the way up to 60. There's no reason why he shouldn't be utilized in this game. His minutes have been down the past two. That's really just the main indicator. Like if he's playing the minutes, he can do it, but we need him out there. So I hope he gets the minutes this game. The reason why I'm not going to be as bullish on him as Randall, Sabonis is because I know that they need those guys. I know that they are the focal points of their offense, but definitely I would say Zion's in play. Not cash. I would not play him in cash games. I would only play him in GPP. Brandon Ingram. Let's talk about him for a second. Price is still up there. He's not really hitting the value at his price right now. But Toronto is terrible against the small forward position. Are you going to look at Ingram as a pay-up option on tonight's slate?
No, I don't think I'll have any Ingram. I can honestly say that at 9,000. I think Harris, Nance, Anunoby, Barrett, Bogdanovich. I like them way more. I know the usage is there. I'm thinking that they're going to put – if I'm thinking that Anunoby's going to guard Ingram. Anunoby's long. So I like that matchup for Anunoby. I'm hoping Brandon Ingram's high played. I'll be fading him. So I will be sticking with my guns, and I will not have Ingram at all. Maybe if he was around the same prices, Hayward and Harris, I would. But other than that, I won't be having him. Will you be playing him tonight?
I'm going to have one lineup with him because he was the one guy I told myself at the very beginning of the day I'm not going to play at all. Okay. So the one thing I want to mention this real quick. One of my favorite metrics is points given up to position. And we are very early in the season. So like right now, if you were to open it up, Atlanta against the small forward position gives up fantasy points allowed 81.7. And then the next is Brooklyn at 69.5. Then Golden State 66.8. Then Detroit 64.2. And you're asking yourself, why the hell is that so high? This is why. Atlanta just played Brooklyn 2 times in a row against Kevin Durant. So it's very early. So looking into this stuff, it's not gospel yet, right? This isn't law yet, but this is a very, very good tool to use to get an idea of like what teams are struggling against. And if you want to go back and look at what teams played them, that would give you a better understanding as to why they're giving up so many points, or make you even more confused as to why they're giving up so many points. And if you're confused, that means, yeah, you got to keep going that way because they're not playing tough guys at small forward, but they're giving up points. So I'm not saying that this trend will continue, but I look at the small forward position as a position that Toronto should be strong against because of OG. Yep. If this continues, I know OG gets good defensive stats. It's just something to monitor because I think it's something that people are going to look away from for most of the season. But Toronto, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, they're 8 right now at the small forward position with points given up. Ironically, you got Indiana at 9 and Charlotte at 10. They're all on this slate. Charlotte playing Philly. We like Tobias. Indiana playing Knicks. We like RJ Barrett. Remember, play those guys. Yep. Good for cash. All right. Well, Toronto, New Orleans. Yeah, I'm going to say this. I have like no one on New Orleans. The one guy I picked from New Orleans that I could see as like a dart throw, like the way you went with Curry, I did with Hart. I have one lineup with Hart and I have one lineup with Bledsoe. Okay. The shooting guard position on this slate is kind of weird. Sexton is at 6,800. If he were to somehow outscore SGA, Van Vliet, and who's the last guy that's pay up? Victor Oladipo, that would be the pick, right? Well, if all those guys are stinkers, if everyone that's a pay up is a stinker, then you're now looking at the guys that we've just mentioned at shooting guards. So you're going to be looking to find, you want to zig or other zag. Are you with that? Do you think that Eric Bledsoe, Josh Hart, are those like okay GPP flyers? Do you think those are good?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with playing them, especially if Bledsoe's not playing. Again, if you're playing well, Van Gundy's going to go with you, and Josh Hart, he can do everything if he gets the minutes. He's going to fill the stat sheet. So I wouldn't mind taking him. not going to have a lot of exposure to those guys. I like a lot of different people. Like you said, Colin Sexton. I think Colin Sexton might make every one of my lineups. So I might ride with him tonight. Yeah, I like Barrett. I like the price of these players. I like that Knicks game. I think that those players could be low owned and they could hit good value. So I will be the main two games I'll be focusing on. I'll probably have a lot of my lineups will be New York and Indiana and Cleveland, Atlanta. Those two games combined. Sprinkle some value in there from Orlando game, and other than that, that's the game I'm going to be focusing on the most.
I agree. I like some Toronto players in this game because of pace up. And that's something else. So I'm going to make a video sometime next week once I have like a big enough sample size to see like what teams are playing at a faster pace than others, what teams suck at defense, what teams are good, because that's all stuff that we need for DFS. And when I release that video, I'll make sure I'll drop a link on Twitter, let everyone know, because I'm telling you guys, this is our year. 2021 is our year. You follow Aspire, you're going to climb. Me and Gordon, we are hell-bent on this. We know what we're doing. We've done it long enough. It's just a matter of time before this hits. And I want to go through real quick and mention some guys that I haven't talked about that I think could possibly be, takedown players tonight. Kevin Huerter. Huerter? How do you say that guy's name for Atlanta?
Porter, I think.
Porter. Kevin Huerter for Atlanta. He has not yet had a big game. He is going to be starting. Is he? Let's check it out. I'm pretty sure I saw him starting.
I think he is starting.
I don't want to give people bad info. Hold on. No, he's not. He's not starting.
Okay.
Reddish is going to be at the 2. I still like him as someone who can get 25, 30 on a good night when his shot's falling. He's at 4,000 right now. Last year at one point, so Bogdanovich is here now, which makes it weird for Atlanta because last year, Porter, he would bounce between like 4,000, 5,000. He could get like to 5,500, somewhere in that range because he can hit 25, 30 FanDuel points a night. He's someone who hasn't done it yet. I'm not saying he has the highest ceiling, but at 4,000, that's someone who could definitely be in play tonight. I think we mentioned Reggie Bullock as a decent play. We didn't say anything about Dort as someone that we're going to want in our lineups tonight, I don't think. But we all know what he was capable of earlier this year.
Yep.
So I'm not saying make sure he's in a lot, but maybe have him in 1 or 2 if you're doing multiple lineups. When I say multiple, so here's the thing. If you're only doing like 3 or 4 lineups, probably don't play Dort. But if you're trying to like spread a bunch of, like if you're doing like 20 entries into one tournament, try having like a little exposure to someone like Dort, have a little exposure to someone like Michael Carter-Williams, Kevin Huerter. Like you want guys that no one else is playing because this is such a small slate. Like if you just do cookie cutter stuff like I usually do, you're not going to win money. I try to play it cash and GPP at the same time. It's not the smartest way. But if you're only playing a few entries tonight, don't play Dort. But if you got a ton, I think he's a fine play. I think he could be, 25, 30 points possibly in this Orlando matchup. Is there anyone else that I want to say could be a beast? How about you, Gordon? Anyone else you've been looking at all day and you're like, I'm not going to play him, but I could see you just completely fucking up my lineup?
Yeah, Trae Young. I don't like that price. I'm really going to stick away from Trae Young, Brandon Ingram. Gordon Hayward, I'm not going to have him. He might be a guy that I'm not going to have any exposure to him at all, honestly.
Honestly, yeah, that's the guy, actually.
I'm not going to play him. I do like I said, I like the Oladipo Sexton combo. That's going to be a majority of my lineup tonight, I feel like. So like I said, I'm excited for this slate. I like this number of games. So I'm hoping we can get a takedown tonight. That would be a great way to start off the new year. Yesterday I was a little hungover, so I didn't do as much as I like to do. But today I feel good and I'm ready to get it going.
I agree. And one more guy I thought of that I have not mentioned. So shame on me for not doing my research. I don't want to pull something out of my ass. I don't know if Toronto's played or not the Knicks. I don't know if Toronto has played New Orleans yet. I would imagine they haven't, but I would guess that Baines plays in this game, right? But if Boucher were to play in this game, that's a guy, again, like the dude can be 2 points against Embiid and then 50 points against some other guy. Someone I have zero exposure to, someone who has one of the highest ceilings on this slate at the center position. So Boucher, another guy, if you want to go contrarian, if you want to say fuck Aspire Sports, I want to play all the guys they're not playing. That's who you want to look at here. Chris Boucher is definitely someone who has a really high ceiling here. We didn't mention much about Van Vliet. I do want to say that I like Van Vliet as a cash game option on this slate. Let's see if there was anyone else who wasn't mentioned that I feel bad for. Remember I said Steven Adams revenge game and then he pops off. What the fuck?
Just a heads up, I will have a combo lineup too, with some scrubs. I'm gonna go Carter Williams and Exum at the start at my point guards. They're both under $4,000. They're both starting.
Exum, that's a good one to mention.
I got a combo with them at my guards, and then you pay up everywhere else. That's when you get Embiid in your lineup, and different people like that. If you like that, Embiid could go for 60 tonight against Beyond, I could see him really going off for a big game tonight. So I will have that combo, and I will have Embiid. So kind of let everybody know most of my favorite plays, and that's going to be my pool tonight. I always say I hope that I have, if one of my lineups hit, usually all my lineups hit because I usually have the same player pulling everybody with a couple mix-ins. So like I said, I'm hoping for a good night tonight. I like tonight's slate. I feel pretty good. So we got about 15 minutes to lock, 10 minutes to lock. Tips not till 7:10. So I will be watching all these games tonight.
Yeah, Kyle, who do you think is the best play tonight?
Steve.
He likes Steve tonight. I think Steven Adams is someone we haven't really mentioned much about, but Steve.
Yeah, either Steve or Jeff. I really like those two guys tonight.
Yeah, Jeff. Is there a Jeff on tonight's slate?
I don't think so.
Oh, and I also like Joe. You know Joe?
We got to be able to find a Joe.
Joe Mama.
Nice. Hey, I really think that we have this slate pretty much covered here. For anyone who was listening, I'm sure not a lot of people tune into this one, but this is the thing. One of these days, we're going to be able to go back and listen to the video that we talked about all the right plays to play that we did play, and we're fucking filthy rich. Just last night, I actually had, until the Golden State Warriors game started, like once we got like one quarter into that game, I had 3 quarters all making $1,500 each. Because that was in first, second, and third. I had played like no lineups last night, but I had like a couple quarters that were just fucking killing it.
I'll shout out my older brother Rhett. He hit a crazy parlay yesterday. It's about $10 to win 1,100. So congratulations to him.
Good for you, Rhett. If you're listening, Rhett, make that money. And if you keep tuning in, Rhett, you're gonna kill it on here. All right. Well, to everybody who joined, everybody who listened, everybody who enjoyed this podcast, please hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you so much for stopping by. And hey, let's start this New Year's off right. Let's take down some GPP tournaments. Let's double up that cash, and we'll be back at it. Do we have a stream tomorrow, Kyle? Are we doing football tomorrow?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, if we're not doing football tomorrow, for all you season-long 17-weekers, just tweet at us, ask us questions there. We'll answer them. Tell your commissioners not to make your season go 17 weeks. And, yeah, we'll be back at it tomorrow. Until then, good luck on all your tournaments. Thank you for stopping by. Peace.